When it's Valentine's Day, or any other day that one would need a card for, you want to get one that's really special, one that truly lets receivers know how much they mean to you. There's a lot of us at the studio who are interested in mythical creatures, and it's hard to argue that any card is cooler than a pop-up card, so if any of your friends are also along the mythological persuasion, you can make for them a Mimic. Originating in the tabletop RPG Dungeons & Dragons, Mimics are now a fantasy mainstay. They are fascinating little shapeshifters who can turn into pretty much anything you'd care to mention, most famously things like treasure chests and boxes and barrels. But really, they could become anything you care to mention, especially if the person running the game wants to be cruel. But anyway, if you'd rather surprise and delight your friends instead of making them paranoid of every physical object for the rest of the role-playing session, you can summon the power of creativity and make a Mimic into a greeting card. For this project, you'll need paper, a pencil, coloring supplies, pens, scissors, and glue. Take your first piece of paper and fold it in half into a card shape. Be sure that the fold is neat, sharp, and precise. Take a second sheet and fold it in half the same way, still being sure that the fold is nice and tight. But this time, find the middle of the paper, usually marking it with a light fold. Take out your scissors and cut along the middle all the way down so as to make two folded pieces. Now you draw the top half and the bottom half of a mouth on these two folded pieces, starting with a big curve over here and being sure to add lots of teeth, because if you already know these little beasts, you have seen that their teeth are very prominent features of their face. Be sure to leave a little widget so you can fold it down and glue all this to your paper later. Here's me drawing the bottom half, making sure to include the same teeth and widget on the side. If you make a mistake and decide you don't need something, you can just cross it out and make the change for the better when you're cutting. Cut out both pieces, with your scissors obviously. Here's where you make any final adjustments on the shape of the mouth. And there you have it, two mouthpieces depicting a mouth wide open, as you will see later. Take the card and the two mouthpieces and line them up to where you want them to be on the card. If you want to be precise, you can mark it. And be sure that the middle folds in the mouthpieces line up with the middle fold on the card. Then start roughly sketching out details on the inside of the card. This message will make more sense when you see the front of the card. Just sketch in what you want it to say. Outline it with ink. Erase your pencil lines, you know, the usual shebang when you're drawing. Then take your insanely messy pencil case and start coloring it in. These are the colors I used to make the Mimic look. This can be rather taxing on your markers. You kinda want to color the card like it's changing into a mimic before your eyes, so be sure to leave some parts of your card uncolored. Well, at least uncolored with the mimic color. It helps to give extra definition to the mimic part by adding this little ring about it. Now it's time to make the mouth properly mimicky. Reinforce the folds. Then take the same colors that you used for the mimic body on the card. A fun touch to add is a little gum line around the edges of the teeth that you have drawn. On the top half, take an eye color and draw random dots throughout for eyes. Fill in with an assortment of pupils, and when you're coloring it in, follow the curve of the eye for a more realistic look. If you could call an aberration realistic. Add all the same accents and tracings and layers of colors for, again, a more realistic effect. Now it's time to make the actual card for your mimic to pop out of. Before you start putting the mouth on the card, make sure the card on the places where it's not mimicked looks like the kind of card it would look like if it were, normal. You can see me here adding the miscellaneous hearts, and squiggles, and kind of Valentine-y aesthetic that a Valentine's Day card should have. It might be a good idea to get the mouth out of the way before you actually do this. When you're done with that, reinforce the fold, and make the outside of the card look similar to the inside decorations. Just this time, make sure it looks nice and cutesy and normal holiday-y, if possible, with nary a hint of what is concealed inside. I'm kind of breaking my own rule here and writing "this card is not a mimic" on the front. And including a nice little scene of a teddy bear's picnic in some park. Just make sure to make this as nice and cutesy and traditionally Valentine on the outside, if in fact you are making a Valentine's Day card. Just whatever makes the inside of the card have the most humorous effect. Ink and color the image as you would with any other drawing. Just make sure it's all nice and fun and cutesy. We can add some happy little leaves and some happy little grass. Now for what will really make your message pop, the tongue of the mimic. Take another piece of paper, or a piece of your scrap paper if you're a cheapskate like me, and cut it out into 2 even rectangles. It helps to use the folded mouth scraps, as cutting out part of the fold will ensure evenness of the rectangles. If you're not using plain red paper, which you really should technically do, you just color it in red, which gives it a nice tonguey textury look, especially if you're using a sort of dried out marker. Be sure to color it on both sides. Once the 2 tongue pieces are all colored up, accordion fold them so that they will stand up off the page. Now take another separate piece of paper, or again, you could use a spare, and write your message. Since this was a Valentine's Day card, I wrote Happy Valentine's Day. Color in your message with festive appropriate colors, and cut it out. Now it's time for the fun part, assembly. These are all the pieces that you should have ready for assemblage. To start putting everything together, first take the paper with the message and the little tongue pieces, apply glue to one end of both tongue things, and stick them on the back of the message. Rascally little dickenses they can be sometimes. This will make your message stand up off the card. Now, the moment you've really been waiting for. Take the little widgets of your mouth, fold them down, apply glue to the edge, and stick it down wherever you marked it, or wherever it fits if you painted over the markings. Make sure it actually stands up and out, and then do the same thing with the other one. Fold it down, apply glue to the little widget, and stick it to wherever it belongs. Might I advise being careful when you test out the mouth? Now apply glue to the other end of the tongue pieces. Find out where it goes, inside the mouth, and paste it in. It kinda looks better when it's behind the teeth. By this point, you should have a finished card, and, as they say, we are on to the glamour shots. And there you have it, an epic card for all the epic friends in your life. You don't have to make this a Valentine's Day mimic. You can do it for birthdays, Christmas, St. Patrick's Day, any holiday, and you can make all sorts of beams pop out, like this guy, or this guy, or this guy, or that guy, or really, whoever or whatever you want. For any kind of season or occasion, this pop-up card will be a perfect fit. We hope this video was helpful to you, and we wish you luck in all your paper engineering endeavors. And beware the mimics.